Hello everyone and welcome back to the Reddit League. We are now on week 7, I think. Doing a voiceover again. This week I'm against WaCoLoCh, as I just showed really quickly. But last week I picked up a win against Heddicmi by like 12,000 points. He had a terrible time there. So I did pick up the win. This week I'm against WaCoLoCh on a world map. That's diverse AI world, so it's basically a world map, but in Pashtetli's words, somehow harder than rural world. Which is a tough barrier to cross, but well, here it is. I'm just gonna get started right here. And well, we have the ladder poles. It's Romania. We have a bit of a church there. And let's see if I can find any valuable information, maybe like the name of the town or something. We'll see. So far it seems like we're exiting the town, although there are still a few houses around here, and there appears to be a main road right here. We have a yield sign, so there should be a bigger road. And there is one of these little waystones down here. Looking at it, it is the 18B, and it has a few town names. They're a bit hard to read, but there's one here that does say Bayamare is 19 kilometers away. It takes me a second to find it. I kind of forgot where Bayamare was, but I did find it. We have the other town, Targuluresh or something. Can't remember the name exactly. I do have it. I have the rough directions, but I don't actually know what town we're in right now. So I decided to head down to the southwest and figure out if I can figure out what town this is. I thought this might be a town exit sign, but no, it just has the road number once again. Kind of surprised I didn't find the town exit sign so far, because I feel like that would be something that you find pretty quickly, but I found it right there. It's Berinta, or Berintsa, something like that. Not sure, it took me a second to find it, but I did find it in the end. And now, on to pinpointing. This took me embarrassingly longer than it should have. We do have that church, but I was trying to figure out which church exactly it was. And I was trying to figure out how long it took me to get to the main road, but I decided not to do that. I found another church on the map, so I decided to go for it. And I then realized that we're actually basically at the edge of the village. So that would put me right about there where my pin is. We have this last house, and the shape does match. We do have this house right by the road, which does check out. And just checking some of the other houses down here to see if they fit. We do have this house that's very close to the road, and this little side road down there. So I'm pretty confident in where I have it. I believe I do go back and just check that matches up, and the little outcrop does fit, so I guess 3 meters. And yeah, let's keep going. This should be Chile. We have all white road lines, and this is the Americas. So yeah, Chile would be the smart option. We do have Spanish around, and there are these signs along the side of the road. It says school zone, and maybe a town name, Puesta Cerrillos, or it might be Puerta Cerrillos, but not something that I recognize. So gonna have to ignore it for now. There are lots of these little signs. There's one of these big ones which confirms that it's Chile. But I did read it, and the only thing that could work might be Curacaví, but that didn't ring a bell either. So I decided to keep on moving. To be honest, I'm not sure what I was looking for. I think my best bet would have been trying to find one of the road number markers, but I did have it in the back of my mind that they are not very common kind of in urban areas. It seems like I always find them in more rural areas, far between towns, where the road number might actually matter more. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out where the road numbers could be. It's entirely possible I've also missed some markers, but you can now see I'm like turning around at every sign to see if it's one of those. I did eventually give up and decide to go the other way. And well, it's still a straight road. We have mountains, all typical of Chile. The mountains are to the north, though. Not too much to... well, there are some to the east, but they're mostly to the north, which is kind of weird. But I have found some signs right here. We have WaCoLoCh, which is to the west. We have Valparaiso, local road, and Santiago. So we're between those two. I'm trying to figure out where exactly I am. We does appear that there's like this little interchange of sorts. And so I decided to try looking for that. There's this one that kind of fits, but the road angle isn't quite right. For a second I did forget the road angle where I started, but going here, yeah, you can see that there's some towns to the south. I forgot what it said, but we do have this big highway. It has to be the highway between Santiago and Valparaiso. I accidentally glitched onto the highway, which normally I would do, but in this case I would rather stay on top. I see WaCoLoCh and I see this kind of cloverleaf shape. I was checking to see if it was maybe a suburb of Valparaiso, but it's clearly not, actually, because we have mountains in the north. I do find WaCoLoCh, and I find the interchange. I wasn't sure which of the two interchange it could be, but we do have the cloverleaf. So I moved back to the old one, and well, in 30 seconds I have to pinpoint this. I do check the road angle fits. But now pinpointing is going to be a pain. We have this El Mister, but it doesn't actually show up on the map, which is unfortunate. Now the map does have a pretty large radius, I think like 120 meters for a 5k, but there really is no reference point to use. I think at the end I moved it down south, and that was a brilliant change at the last moment. I did a little dance when I did that, because that was a really good just space plonk in there. And a 5k. Now, this is Sri Lanka. And, well, yeah, that sign confirms it. We have Sinhala on it, or Sinhalese. That sign didn't have anything useful. It is mountainous, or like hilly at the very least, and there's some water, which is typical of the southern bit of the country, but I didn't have a very good region guess here, beyond just it being further south. I kept on looking for a road number, which could be very useful, or rather they're sometimes useful, let me put it that way, because sometimes they are wrong, and this was, well, you'll see what happened with it. I do get to this point, the road seems to be a bit better. It's like paved, although it's still pothole ridden. And, well, there isn't too much to see along here. I was hoping to maybe find some phone numbers. I know I had just quickly gone over them a few days ago. But it's not boding too well for me. I find this kilometer marker. And this is actually what reminded me that I should look for the road numbers around here. It says 11. I go down this way, and pretty much instantly find a kilometer marker. It has the B484, which I do try and find. Something I should realize is that the B roads aren't too well ordered. Like, they're kind of clustered, but there's no actual pattern to how they're organized. So even if I do find the 480 somewhere, they may not necessarily be in the 484 may not necessarily be in the same area. In any case, well, over the next minute and a half, well, I just kept trying to look for it and never really found it, as you will see. I realize with my massively zoomed out screen it's a bit difficult to see what I'm looking for, but essentially I'm just clicking wherever I see a road in the 400s or 480s. But yeah, it is not looking too great. We shall see. I think I saw some of the 480s near Colombo, which is why I just clicked there. Or maybe I just saw 400s rather. I think down south I saw some more 480s. Or just, again, just 400s. I saw 480s in this general area where I've clicked just now. Which, well, this is what made me think, you know, I might be in the right area. There's some hills around here. I think I went a little northeast of... Actually, no, I went where I have it. But, like, there are some hills. It kind of makes sense. But, and I did have the 485 and 486, I think. But not the 484. I was zooming in to check if I could find the 484. But with 15 seconds to go, doesn't look like I'm going to find this. And, well, we'll find out in just a second. Or 2 seconds. Nope. It was in the center. I go in, I check the road number. It is not correct. It claims it's the 574 or something. Which means like 2 of the digits were wrong. But anyways. We move on. We have yellow sidelines. It's very sandy. Should be Israel. I got slightly confused by the fact that the cars have white license plates, not yellow. But it did make me think that this would be the Palestine somewhere, which would make sense. But everything else points to it being, you know, Israel, Palestine. There was Hebrew on there, which confused me for a bit. But coming up to the sign here, it's in Arabic. It's got to be Palestine. It's not even bilingual. Moving further down, you know, more of these advertisements in Arabic. There was a .ps domain confirming Palestine, and thought I saw a sign, but I didn't. But here, entering the town, and well, I kind of snapped to it. There is a town entrance sign for Jericho, which would put me on this road going southwest out of it. I did try to confirm, and I did. The angle does match up. And I was trying to figure where I started, of course. I think I tried just confirming that this road was correct by checking that the canal was there, which it is. So yeah, now my focus was shifting over to how I could... Oh, never mind, I was actually still trying to confirm that this was the right road. Apparently I wasn't too sure of myself, but that actually made sense. And so now, yeah, well, now I was trying to pinpoint this. And, well, it's not the easiest pinpoint. We're just in the middle of the road. We have this little canal to the south, which I thought was this one. That's on the map right now. It's the wrong one, but I do realize that pretty quickly. I think. We go south to see what's there. There is this little curve and then a big roundabout. And at first I thought it would be this roundabout up here, but we don't have the curve. There is a canal and there's a roundabout, but no curve. Doesn't quite match. But I did find one this one to the south, which does match a lot better. And yeah, now I'm like trying to figure out where exactly I am on this stretch. There's this off-road, which I assume must be the one that I see up there. Not quite sure if it's right, but I go ahead to see if I can find any other off-roads, but I don't see any. Before I know it, I've like gone past the second curve, and I'm definitely in the wrong place. But yeah, so I kind of just take a gamble on where I have it. And nope, I was on the other side of that little spur road, and I dropped 1 point, which is really annoying. But anyways, and last round, we have the yellow sidelines again. We're somehow in Israel again. That confirms it. It's bilingual. So probably, again, in the Palestine. We have this road, 60 north to Jerusalem. And that is indeed in Palestine. I decided to go down to this junction that's here to get a better look at some signs, which you do find here. We're between Hebron and Beersheba. Beersheba is in Israel itself. Hebron is in Palestine. So that puts us somewhere there where I put it. I decided to go back and check out the name of the town nearby. That's Otniel, which I find pretty quickly. And now just going south, I actually, yeah, here is the junction. And so kind of just have to line up the road angles. Doesn't take too long. And that's a 5k. 24,572, pretty far down, although I'm playing a bit earlier than usual. That one Sri Lanka round is really what sunk me. But I will have to take it. We'll see how WaCoLoCh does. Hopefully this is one of his off weeks and I can pick up a win. But yeah, that is gonna do it then. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.